So the next domain is identifying and explaining how information or narrative content is related and contributes to meaning as a whole. So when you are reading a book or an article, imagine if one section had been cut out and thrown away. Would the rest of the text make sense without it? If not, think about why it is important to the text as a whole. So we're looking at how certain pieces of information are important and why they're important to the text for us to understand the text as a whole. So an example question, why did Alex think that dropping the jar might kill somebody? So because she was falling down a very deep rabbit hole, it was too dark to see what was below. So she thought that dropping it would kill somebody, and then they found the answer of why that would have made her feel that way. So explaining, you've got why is the text arranged in this way? What structures has the author used? What is the purpose of the text feature? And is the use of something effective? So is the use of adjectives effective? Is the use of feelings effective? Is the use of repetition effective? So it's looking at how certain information helps us understand the text as a whole. Without that, would it still make sense? So section 2 is the content domain 2b is retrieve and record information. So again, this is something that as a whole on year 4, we are very good at. The children are very good at reading the text and taking that information straight out of the text and applying it to their answer. So when you finish reading a book, you could ask your child what the key points were, so getting them to remember and take out those key points. You could get them to answer a true or false quiz based on it, or you could ask them to name 3 things that happened in the book. So for example, why was Alice worried about drinking from the bottle at first? So in the text, it says that she thought it might be poisonous. So they've taken it straight from the text. So if I show you, drink me, but the wise little Alice was not going to do that in a hurry. No, I'll look first, she said, and see whether it is marked poisonous or not. So from those 2 sentences, it's told us that she didn't drink it because she thought it might have been poisonous. They've taken that information straight out of the text. Again, some questions that you could ask your children to check their understanding of the text. Our next one is identifying, explaining how meaning is enhanced through choice of words and phrases. So when you are reading, notice words that particularly stand out. Think about why the writer chose to use these words. You could also introduce thesauruses to find synonyms, so words that mean the same, and for interesting words in the title of your book. So the frenzied city. Find a phrase that gives the impression of something chaotic in the city. So the children would have to understand what the word chaotic means. And then they would go back into the text and find the part that meant it was chaotic. So a strange frenzy would have been the answer. So that's really about broadening your child's vocabulary so they are shown these different types of words so that when it comes to questions like this, they will have more of an idea. And there's some different questions there to help you whilst your child is reading. And the last one, making comparisons within the text. So looking for similarities and differences between different parts of that text. So looking at the beginning, middle and end and comparing within them. So you could, when your child has read a chapter of the book, they could make a note of what has changed between the beginning and the end. Maybe is it different characters? It could be different setting. It could be the style of story. So it could have started off as a horror and ended up as a romance. How did it change? And they're comparing. So Alice goes through the looking glass. What has changed between the beginning and the end of the passage? So there's 2 points that the answer could have had. Alice has moved from the old room into the looking glass house, so she's changed setting, and Alice now knows what is in the looking glass house now. So she didn't know at the beginning, but she knows now. So some other questions that you could ask your children whilst they are reading. So they could also start comparing with other books that they may have read, and they could think about what's similar and different. And you could also ask them if it is as good as another book that they may have read. They could compare by saying which one's better. They could also compare the different types of characters, setters and themes. So in English we do look at a wide range of themes, so the children do know a wide variety of them. So how can you help at home? So just making sure that reading is visible. So making sure that your children have books or magazines or things that they can read at home, and seeing you read as well. So even if it's a newspaper or a magazine article, just something that they can see that adults do read as well. Talk about books with your children. Sit and listen to them read. Respect their choices of books. Encourage your child to read at bedtime and at any other time. So that could be you reading a part to them and then them reading a part to you. And also visiting the library so that they can have a wider range of books to choose from. So quality questioning, you have your closed questions and your open questions. So these are also some more questions that you could ask your child whilst you are listening to them read. Closed questions do limit your child's responses and thinking, but open questions are more effective as they expand on the child's responses and understanding. So reading unknown words. So what strategies can I use to help my child? So it's about blending phonemes, looking for clues in pictures, splitting the words into smaller parts or syllables, spotting if it looks like a word that they already know. So it could be a rhyming word with the same suffix, and reading to the end of the sentence, then going back to see if they can work out what the word is. It's all about giving them time as well. So give them time to try and work out the word, try and help them breaking up the word and the syllables. And then obviously if they still can't, then we can help them know what the word is. So finally, thank you for watching and listening. And please remember that you also need to sign your child's journal when they have read, so that they can receive 2 house points and 15 if they have read and it's been signed for the whole week. So without the signature, we can't say that they definitely did read. So we need that signature as proof that they have. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to either email the class teacher or you can also call the school office. Thank you.